start. So welcome to the Department of Liberal Studies new student orientation for 2021. I'm Dr. April Bullock, and I am the chair of the Department of Liberal Studies at Cal State Fullerton. And I'm going to just be walking you through the major today and telling you a little bit about what to expect. It's not like, there we go. What to expect in the next 4 years of college. So let me, and I'm going to be admitting people here as we go along. If you have questions, you can either put them into the chat or you can just unmute and ask me. I will definitely have some time at the end of this session to answer some questions. All right, so for right now, you can mute, like I said, unmute yourself if you need to. So what is the liberal studies major at California State University, Fullerton? Well, we're an interdisciplinary major and we're an interdisciplinary department. And that means that the professors, for example, in our department come from a lot of different academic backgrounds. So in the faculty, we have a musicologist who studies the history of music. We have art historians. We have people who come from literature. We have historians of science, many of whom were actually practicing scientists before they took up the history of science, or at least have science degrees. So there are professors in our department with degrees in, there we go, with degrees in physics, with degrees in biochemistry, biology, so a variety of science backgrounds. We actually have one faculty member who has a PhD in liberal studies from a program at another university. So he has an interdisciplinary PhD background. We have historians, all kinds of different people. We've all come together because we believe that an interdisciplinary exploration that integrates knowledge from the humanities, arts, natural sciences, and social sciences is a great way to prepare our students for life. And also because all of us cross disciplines in our own research and our own academic activities. So we have two different goals in the liberal studies major. One of them is just to prepare all of you for successful lives, to be well-rounded people, critical thinkers, culturally sensitive citizens, creative problem solvers, the kind of people who can go out and learn whatever they need to learn in the world to be successful in wherever their career paths take them. The secondary thing that we do is actually work to prepare students for careers in specific areas. So the vast majority of our students, as you will find when you get into the major a little further, are people who are interested in becoming elementary school teachers. So they're people who are planning when they graduate from college to pursue a multiple subject teaching credential and to go into elementary school teaching. We also have versions of the major that are designed for people who want to go into special education after they graduate, people who want to teach in middle school, particularly in math and science. And then we occasionally have people who are interested in teaching high school. And then finally, we prepare students for all kinds of other careers outside of education. So a number of our alumni are lawyers, managers, entrepreneurs, administrators in schools and also in government, and people who work for nonprofit organizations. Another place that a lot of liberal studies graduates go is into work at museums. Either as educational outreach type people or in other capacities. We also have had students who've gone on to get PhD degrees in a variety of disciplines. So our major can be adapted to help you meet your career goals later on. So in your first 2 years at Cal State Fullerton, you will only have the opportunity to take a couple of liberal studies classes, and those are optional courses. They're not courses that are required in the major. Most liberal studies students, just like most students at Cal State Fullerton in general, transfer to us after their freshman and sophomore years when they're juniors. And so the liberal studies major is largely composed of upper division courses, courses at the 300 and 400 level that are usually taken by juniors and seniors. But there are a whole bunch of things that you can do to help connect to the major during these first 2 exciting years of college. So for example, when you are going through what we call your lower division general education curriculum, which is what you'll be doing for the first 2 years at Cal State Fullerton, you might decide to take Liberal Studies 100, Introduction to the Humanities, and Liberal Studies 101, Introduction to the Social Sciences, to meet your general education category C2 and D1. So we can double count courses that are offered by the major department for GE. Another way that you can connect to the department is by joining the Liberal Studies Student Association. And so, oh, thank you. So the Liberal Studies Student Association is there to bring you in. They host social events later on when you're taking your upper division liberal studies classes. They will be there to help provide study sessions for you. They take field trips, they go to museums together. They do all sorts of activities that are both social and academic. So you can join the Liberal Studies Student Association now. You can log on to your portal and find the link for Titan Link. And then when you go to Titan Link, you can find the Liberal Studies Student Association. And there's a button on that page. You can just click join and you can join that association. You can also email them directly at titans.lssa@gmail.com, and they can add you on to their mailing list that way. And finally, in the fall, when we go back to the campus, which we actually will be doing, we're pretty excited about that. And I'm guessing that a lot of you had a lot of virtual high school at the end and you're anxious to actually get on campus. So when we go back to campus in the fall, you can also drop by and check out the Liberal Studies Common Room, which is in Humanities Building, room 223. All of the Liberal Studies faculty offices are arranged around a central room. And that central room, our Commons room, has a big table. There's a library that's been amassed that is covers all of the various things that we cover in classes in liberal studies. And so it's a great place to study. There's also a really comfortable sofa. There's a computer, and there's a microwave and a refrigerator. So a lot of our students come by and eat lunch there. I'm not sure if we're going to have social distancing requirements in the fall that will prevent us from having lots of people hanging out in the Commons, but certainly, hopefully by the spring and in your subsequent years at Cal State Fullerton, plan to spend a lot of time in the Liberal Studies Commons room. Students hang out there. So now I want to talk a little bit more specifically about what's in the major and what the options are within the liberal studies major. So we have two emphases within liberal studies. The first and most popular is the elementary education emphasis. This is an emphasis that's designed for future elementary school teachers. It includes the courses in the liberal studies core that all liberal studies majors take. And then it has a set of courses that have been curated and are designed to help prepare you for classroom teaching, in particular by giving you what's called in the world of education lingo, subject area knowledge. This prepares you for an exam called the CSAT, which is a subject area knowledge exam that students have to pass before they can get a teaching credential. And it also helps you prepare for the demands of multiple subject teaching in an elementary classroom. We have a brand new program. You will be the first students who can take advantage of this. It is a CSAT waiver program. And what that means is that rather than taking this exam later on in your college career, probably in your senior year, you decide instead to take a series of courses that will satisfy the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing that you have the subject area knowledge you need to be a multiple subject teacher. The CSAT waiver, I can show it to you. We're just working right now. Actually, we were only approved in April, so we're still working on the advising materials for that. But the thing to know about that is that it is best if you make the decision that you're going to pursue the waiver early in your college career, because as you'll see when I show you the waiver form, it basically dictates which classes you have to take for all of your GE categories. And it also dictates what form the major is going to take, because it's a very, very prescriptive set of courses. And I'll tell you that you don't really need to follow the waiver program. If you'd like more flexibility in choosing your classes as you go through general education and the liberal studies major, because our students pass the CSET. The first time around, about 85% of our students pass, and we haven't had any trouble with our students passing the CSET. So unless you're very, very worried for whatever reasons, and there are people who genuinely have a really, really tough time with those kinds of big, high stakes standardized tests. If you're really worried about taking the test, you can go ahead and follow the CSET waiver pathway, and then that just takes that concern away from you. So our website, our department website, is super, super helpful. I'm going to show it to you after I finish this first part of the presentation. And it has detailed information about the elementary education emphasis, and also you can see a sample study plan there, which I'll show you for that emphasis. So again, the CSET waiver, which, as I said, doesn't give you a lot of choices of which classes to take, for example, to do your GE. So I can provide you with the CSET waiver list of classes that you'll need. You can also get that from the Center for Careers in Teaching on campus. And if you are planning on going into education, whether that be elementary education or middle school or whatever, special education, the Center for Careers in Teaching is a great resource because they can give you advising. They are housed in the College of Education. So a lot of the people who work there and who direct it are faculty members in the College of Education. So they know a lot about teaching credential programs, and particularly about Cal State Fullerton's teaching credential programs. And they can help you integrate major advising with advising that's designed to prepare you for a career in teaching. And again, I'm going to show you some links at the end of this for how to get to that center. Now, the other pathway that we have in the liberal studies major is the interdisciplinary thematic plan. Somebody asking a question, which is a good one, about the CSET waiver program. And that's asking if you can graduate with the waiver and your degree in 4 years. And yes, you can. It is not, however, an integrated teacher education program like they have at Long Beach and some other Cal States. At Cal State Fullerton, liberal studies does not have a program that integrates the bachelor's degree and the teaching credential into 4 years. So instead, we have pathways where you could actually do that yourself if you're able to take as many classes per semester, and probably some summers as well. But we don't have an actual integrated program. Many years ago, when I first started at Cal State Fullerton, I taught in the blended teacher education program, which we had then, which did combine the liberal studies major and the teaching credential in 4 years. But it turned out that it was really, really tough for students to complete. And it was also difficult on our departments having to offer some specific classes for them. And so that program was discontinued actually now, gosh, many, many years ago. But as I said, if you don't want to take the CSET, you can follow the waiver pathway, which will still allow you to graduate in 4 years with the waiver completed. But then you'll have that 5th year to do your teaching credential. So I hope that helped with that. You can ask me more about that at the end if you'd like. So the other emphasis that we have in the major is called the interdisciplinary thematic emphasis. And this has a number of uses. We say that it's a flexible thematic approach to the major. We have some specialized plans, which you'll be able to find again on our website, that are designed to prepare people for the special education credential. We have one for the foundational level math credential, which allows you to teach middle school math. Similarly, we have one for the foundational level general science credential. We also have individualized plans for other kinds of careers. So we have plans that can help prepare you for law school, careers in sustainability and environmental studies, food studies, museum careers, work in nonprofits, and many, many more. In fact, we've had students do thematic plans. We had a student, for example, some years ago who wanted to become a nutrition coach and to start her own yoga studio. And so she created a thematic plan that helped prepare her for that. So if you're interested in a thematic plan, you can make an appointment with a liberal studies faculty member for advising, and we can help you pick out the courses that would make up that individualized plan. Again, you can go to the department website and get more detailed information about that. And you can see sample plans, including the plans that we've prepared for special education, foundational level math, and foundational level general science. So what does it look like to go through 4 years as a liberal studies major? Well, in year 1, right, you're going to concentrate on general education classes. You might want to book an advising session with the Center for Careers in Teaching. And you could declare your emphasis in liberal studies if you'd like. You can also hold off and do that a little bit later. During your 2nd year, you finish your lower division general education, which are those 100 and 200 level courses, things like US history, American government, intro to biology, classes like that. You can also make an appointment during that 2nd year with a liberal studies department faculty advisor to plan for your major courses. Some of you may start taking courses in the major towards the end of that 2nd year. It depends. If, for example, you came in with, let's say you took a bunch of AP tests and you have some general education credit already through AP classes, or maybe you took some classes at the community college while you were still in high school. And so you come in and you already have some of that introductory level and lower division GE done. You might be ready to start taking liberal studies classes in your 2nd year. So that very much depends on your personal situation, but feel free to make an appointment with a liberal studies advisor during that 2nd year, maybe early in that 2nd year, to find out if you're ready to start taking your liberal studies majors classes in year 2. Year 3 is going to be a year that you're going to spend a lot of time in your liberal studies major courses. You're going to have finished most of your general education, and the upper division GE that you have left to do, that can all be met through courses that also satisfy requirements in the liberal studies major. So year 3 and year 4 are going to be rich in courses in the liberal studies department, and then taking emphasis courses either for the elementary education emphasis or for one of these special interdisciplinary thematic emphases. So that's how you move through the 4 years of the major. So you'll see in year 1 and year 2, you won't necessarily be taking a lot of liberal studies courses, but you can still join the student association. You can still stay in touch with the major that way. You can take liberal studies courses for your lower division GE, like that Intro to the Humanities and Intro to the Social Sciences course. So there are ways to stay connected to us. We also at times organize things like luncheons, where we invite you onto campus to meet with students who are juniors and seniors. If you'd like, you can also drop by the Commons Room and meet those people, or go to an LSSA event, and then you'll be able to meet students who are further along in the program, and they'll really give you, you know, the view from the other side of the classroom, right, about what it's like to be a liberal studies major. So it's great to hook up with them as soon as you can. So here are some useful links that I just want to talk about briefly, and then I'm going to take you to the Liberal Studies Department website and show you a little bit of that. So obviously the Department of Liberal Studies website, great place to go to find out all about us and to find out how to reach us. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences runs a Student Success Center. Right now, you can access them virtually through the link here. They're also the people who are going to help you register at those one-on-one advising appointments that they have for you later on this month. You can see them on campus when we return. They're down on the 1st floor, right as you enter the Humanities building. You'll see the Student Success Center there. The Center for Careers in Teaching, another key resource for any of you who are planning a career in teaching of whatever sort after you graduate. You'll want to go and see the CCT. Right now, you can make appointments with them virtually. They also have things like different kinds of study plans up on their website. So they are a great resource. They're also the people who can really help you through the waiver pathway, which I'll show you in a minute. The financial aid office, Cal State Fullerton is a very big, complex university. We're the size of a small city, right? We have about 40,000 students. We have about 1,000 faculty. We have several thousand graduate students. So it's a big place. And so there are specialized offices all over campus that handle different aspects of the student experience. I think it's always good to keep the financial aid office close to you because almost all of us, right, need some help getting through college. And so if you have any financial aid questions, always go directly to the financial aid office because they're the only completely reliable source of information for you. A couple of other offices I want to mention to you, the Study Abroad program. So Cal State Fullerton offers lots and lots of different ways to study abroad. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences runs a lot of courses or a lot of study abroad programs right out of our college. So for example, there are summer programs that are led by faculty members where you spend anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks visiting another country, taking Cal State Fullerton classes from a Cal State Fullerton faculty member while meeting local people, getting involved in local life. So for example, I've taken students to Dublin, Ireland during the summers and led programs there a couple of times. We have programs going. Another colleague of mine, Saul Tobias, in our department, has taken students to Cambodia and Vietnam during the summer. There are lots. Our colleague Joe Gonzalez has taken students to Italy, to various cities in Italy. So there are a lot of options to go many, many places in the world through the college's study abroad program. There's also a London semester abroad where every spring students from across campus go with a faculty member from our college and they take a whole semester in London. So I've led that program several times and actually fairly recently. So that is a fantastic way to study abroad. And our department, Liberal Studies, really supports study abroad. So if you need to make some changes to your study plan to accommodate being able to study abroad, all you have to do is let me know. I'm the department chair. I'd be happy to meet with you and to make that happen. If you follow this study abroad link to the general campus site, you'll find that our campus also has relationships with universities all over the world that allow students to do the most traditional type of study abroad. And that is where you go and live in another country and take college classes at a local university for a year. And so there are universities all over the world that you can go as a Cal State Fullerton student and do a study abroad year. And again, some departments, it's difficult to do that because they have very set requirements that don't allow you to do that. But so long as you're not following the waiver, liberal studies can be very, very flexible and we can help accommodate that if that's something you want to do. One more place to point out is the Center for Internships and Community Engagement. If you would like to find out how to get involved in the community, there are opportunities for you there. Also, if you're interested in pursuing an internship, let's say that you're following the elementary education plan and that's what you think you want to do, but you're curious about what it would be like to work in some other capacity. You can get an internship. You can enroll, there's a liberal studies internship class that you can enroll in, and you can get academic credit for an internship. So that's another good resource for you. I already mentioned TitanLink. TitanLink is the place that you can find on your student portal that will show you all the student clubs and organizations at Cal State Fullerton. There are clubs and organizations for almost any interest you might have. There are clubs devoted to dancing, eating, anime. I saw that there is a medieval sword interest club on campus. So really anything that you might be interested in, social justice, environmental action, there are student clubs and organizations at Cal State Fullerton for really anything that you might be interested in. So don't hesitate to join up, get involved in student life, and really make the most of your experience. Um, so let me pause for a moment. Do people have questions that you'd like to ask? You can unmute yourself if you want and just say it, or put it in the chat. All right, well, you can do that anytime. Now I'm just going to show you the department website and show you the Center for Careers and Teaching website, and then show you Titan Link, where you can find the Liberal Studies Student Association, because those are all important things. Yes, so math, there are some math recommendations. And in fact, when we take a look at the elementary education plan for the major, you're going to see that we require math for elementary educators, which is actually a junior level class. So you'll want to take your regular GE math class, whatever that is, and then move into these math courses for elementary school teachers, if that's what you're doing. So I'll show you those in just a minute. So here is the Department of Liberal Studies website. You'll see a picture of faculty. There I am right there, standing next to Dr. McConnell and Dr. Patterson, all in our regalia at a graduation event a few years ago. A couple of the people in this photograph have retired or gone off to other things. Dr. Emily Bonney, right here in the beautiful purple regalia, is now the Dean of the Library. So if you go over to the library, you may see her over there because she runs the library. Math 110 is perfectly good as your introductory general education math requirement. So yeah, you can, the lower division GE, you'll get some more advising from the college about that, and they can set you up. So the landing page for the Department of Liberal Studies that you see here doesn't just have a nice picture of us, it also has all kinds of useful things. So we put news and announcements. So you'll see right here that I'm actually right now this summer teaching a virtual study abroad course called London Life and Culture, where we are meeting up with folks in London to engage in virtual study abroad and learn more about the city. Yes, 4 classes for fall semester is considered full-time. And I think if you can take 4 classes your first semester rather than 5, that's probably a good thing while you get adjusted, right, to Cal State Fullerton, while you get used to college. I would suggest that you create a program of courses for your first semester that doesn't, don't choose all of the classes that you feel like are going to be the most challenging classes that you're going to take. Don't put them all in the very first semester of college, right? Take a balanced approach, and then you can go with those over time, right? So let me take a look here at the chat again and see what we've got going here. We've got more questions. If you want to teach high school, you're going to need to get a single subject credential. So elementary school teachers, right, need to know about history and science and math and, every subject. High school teachers specialize, as you guys probably remember, right, from high school. Your biology teacher didn't show up and also teach you French, right? They have specializations. So if you want to go into high school teaching, there are a few different ways to make that happen. You can go and major in, like, let's say you want to teach high school biology. Well, you can go and be a biology major and then prepare for a single subject credential in biology. We do have students who come out of liberal studies and who go on to teach high school. It is possible to prepare, for example, for teaching high school English by being a liberal studies major and then putting together a thematic plan that will help prepare you for that. We have an alumnus who is a high school earth science teacher, and he in fact also teaches earth science at a community college because he went on and got a master's degree after he left us. He prepared for that earth science teaching with a thematic plan in liberal studies. So if you're interested in high school teaching, liberal studies isn't the first place that people will normally send you. I think it's still a good place to go for a lot of different high school teachers because it does prepare you broadly in for one thing, if you change your mind, right? So if you think right now, today, your first day in college, you want to be a high school teacher and you go and you enroll as a biology major, let's say, just for the sake of argument, and then you start taking your biology classes and you discover maybe biology in college isn't really the thing for you. And what you'd rather do is teach elementary school or teach middle school. You're going to have to change tracks, right? And take the courses that are going to prepare you for those subjects, which would be in liberal studies or in child and adolescent studies. And so it's a little bit more difficult. Okay. Yes, you all have the opportunity to get advising for what classes to take your first semester. When you receive the email about this orientation, you also should have been directed to the Student Success Center team to be able to make individual meeting appointments that are lined up with your registration windows later on this month. So I will show you, let me see if I can find that website. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment so that I can look for that, because I have to go into my email and dig around for just a moment. So yeah, I'm only talking about the liberal studies major today, so that what to take my first semester question is, let's see, let me find the advising sessions. Where are they? 9 a.m. Here we go. Okay. So for first-time students, you will get advising and registration support sessions that are led by the Student Success team beginning on June 21st. That's where you're going to get that one-on-one support to enroll in courses. So if you have questions during this presentation about anything else that's regarding advising or registration, you can go to this website, which I'm going to pull up now, and then I'm going to share my screen again so that you can see it. And this should all be, it's on your portal, someone is saying to me. Great. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and you can see, you should be able to see this. So this is the College of Humanities and Social Science new student advising and registration page. And you can see, you can click on first time student and it will tell you how to get your general education advising modules, which you can link to here. Sign up for this, which is your major department advising presentation. You already did that, so perfect there. And then you can sign up here to get one-on-one registration support, which I highly, highly advise you to do. You can register for courses on your own whenever your registration window opens up. But hey, if they're willing to give you one-on-one advising to help you this first time walk through the registration process, I say go for it, right? Take advantage of that help. So let me take a look again at the chat and see what we've got in here. So on the 21st, if you want a one-on-one advising session, you have to register for it here. So you need to go to this website, hss.fullerton.edu/new students, go to the first time student, and then click this link here to register for a one-on-one support meeting. You're going to have different registration windows. When you go on to your student portal, when you go to your student center, it's called, That's where you'll see what your registration window is. You'll also see if there are any holds on your registration, and you can find out more about them. But the student success team here is really, really great at helping you with that general information, right? Giving you one-on-one support. There's a career specialist. There's a specialist, JC Cover, who works on study abroad in the Cal State DC program. There's a whole bunch of different resources that they can connect you to and advice they can give. So I'm your liberal studies department chair who can give you information about your major, but there are other people who, okay. So as far as your lower division general education goes, there are really two ways that I can advise you in that. One of them is that if you're not planning to follow the CSET waiver, I really think you should use that GE program to take courses that you really want to take, right? You will see that when you get to upper division GE, there are going to be courses that are going to look like they'll also fulfill liberal studies departmental requirements. So let me give you an example. I'm just going to take you to the elementary education emphasis page, and then you can see what the major looks like. So at the top, we have the liberal studies core courses, which again, they're a 4-semester sequence that really starts your junior year, although you might start in your sophomore year, depending on where you're at with GE and that kind of thing. Then you'll see these elementary education emphasis courses. And so these are the classes that are from departments all across the university that are designed to really prepare you for elementary teaching. So you'll see things like Art 380, Art and Child Development, which fulfills a GE requirement as well as a major department requirement. Children's literature, the same thing. And further down, some of these upper division social science and cultural diversity courses satisfy both general education and major requirements. And then further down, you'll see that the multiple subject credential program also has prerequisites. They're not required for your bachelor's degree. They're not required for the major, but it's a good idea if you're planning on going to Cal State Fullerton's multiple subject credential program to go ahead and take these courses as part of your undergraduate program. So a few of them are general education or lower division general education courses. And let me highlight one in particular. If you take Chicano studies, African American studies, or Asian American studies for 190, so it's History 190 or Chicano 190 or AFAM 190 or ASAM 190 for your GED2 requirement, which is US History requirement, that class not only will fulfill that lower division general education requirement, but it also will fulfill the ethnic studies requirement that the credential program has for students who are going to enter the multiple subject credential program. So that's a class you could take this semester if you wanted to. So let me take you back and show you how I got to this page. So I started at the Department of Liberal Studies homepage, which you can get by Googling Cal State Fullerton Liberal Studies. Right? You can also get to it through the Cal State Fullerton webpage by going to academics. Right? So you could do it this way. Let me show you. All right, so here's the Cal State Fullerton homepage. Right? If you wanted to, you could click the menu and you could go to academics, colleges and departments, humanities and social sciences, departments and degrees. This is kind of a long way to do it, and liberal studies. What I do is I just go to a search engine and I put in CSUF liberal studies, and it'll take you to this homepage. So if you start here, then you're going to click on academics. And here you can see the elementary education emphasis or the interdisciplinary thematic emphasis. You can also see some minors that we have and a list of our department's general education courses. So I'm going to click on elementary education. And so here you'll see general information about elementary education, and then you're going to see the department requirements. That's that advising sheet that I just pulled up. You're also going to see some advice on general education for first and second year students. And so you can click on this, and this will tell you some course recommendations that you can use right now. Right? So for example, Theater 110, Oral Communication of Literature, might be a really good choice if you're going into elementary education for that oral communications category, because there you start to learn, right, how to read literature, something that school teachers in elementary schools do all the time with their students. The beginning college writing class, critical thinking, you could take Reading 290, which is offered by the reading department, which is over in the College of Education. Or maybe you want to take HCOM 325, Essentials of Argumentation, which is useful. You'll see down here in the sciences, Chemistry, Physics 102 and Biology 102 are courses designed for future teachers. So they aren't part of the liberal studies major because our major is all pretty much upper division, but they're great classes that you can take now in your first 2 years as part of the GE program. Math for liberal arts students, Math 110 might be a good choice. In that B5 category, you could take Liberal Studies 331, the history of science, and then you'll see recommendations for every GE category. And let me highlight here that you could take a liberal studies course this semester, this fall, or in the spring, if you want to take Liberal Studies 100 or Liberal Studies 101. Again, for this American history, I recommend that you take History 190, which is the survey of US history with an emphasis on ethnic minorities, which will also fulfill the ethnic studies requirements you'll have for getting into the credential program. Right? And you'll see a lot of these explorations courses also satisfy department requirements for elementary education. So again, this sheet can be found right here on the elementary education emphasis page, down here if you're a freshman or sophomore and want advice on GE. I want to also show you, I'm admitting some folks here, I want to also show you very quickly the CSET waiver program, which we've mentioned, but I need to be able to get to my doc down here to find it. So let me move this little guy so I can reach Microsoft Word. So these aren't up on the department website yet. We literally developed this on Friday. So this is all very, very new. And so the Center for Careers in Teaching will have this. It will be on the Liberal Studies website soon. I can also share it with you individually if you drop me an email. I can email it to you. This is the elementary subject matter waiver. So if you want to take classes rather than taking the CSET and you're planning to go into the multiple subject credential program, or you're planning to go into the special ed program, you can follow this plan all the way through your college career. So it tells you, you must take these classes in order to get the waiver. And you'll see that sometimes you have to take more than the minimum number of courses that are required for a category. So for example, Introduction to the Arts, you have to take both Art 101 and Music 100 if you want to follow the waiver. So it is very prescriptive. If you could actually send me an email, that would be really helpful. I am Bullock, ABULLOCK, @fullerton.edu. You can also find me on the department website. I'm the department chair. So if you go to the contact us or the faculty page, you'll see me there. And I'll maybe try to show you the faculty in just a minute. But this is the waiver. So you'll see here that you want to take that 190 course that I talked about. And this also lists all of the major classes. The important thing to know about the major classes is the 4 semester sequence. But again, come in for advising during your second year, and we'll lay all of that out for you, because you won't be starting these liberal studies courses, which you can see are all 300 and 400 level. You won't be starting those until at the earliest your second year with us at Cal State Fullerton. So you've got some time for that. But if you want to start out right away and want to make sure that you take the right lower division general education courses, you'll want to get started now. Here's another place where you have to take more than the minimum to pursue the waivers. So you need to take Geology 102 and Chem Phys 102 and Biology 102 if you're doing the waiver program. Let me look again at what people's, yes, you can get the list of classes. I'll put my email in the chat for you. How's that? So that you'll know how to get to me. Let me go to the chat. Let me go to everyone here. Everyone, I am A Bullock at fullerton.edu. So that's me. And as I said, I'm the chair of the Department of Liberal Studies. And so I can send this list to you. I'll also try to get it posted on our website so that you can take a look at it. So you'll find that again on the elementary education emphasis page. To say just a little more about the other emphases in the department, you'll see here that there's a plan for special education, people who want to get a special education credential. And so there you'll see the same liberal studies core courses, but then you'll see a curated set of courses that are designed for people who want to go into special education. If you want the waiver, however, you need to follow the waiver pathway and then they have a way that you can integrate these courses into the waiver. You do not need to pick a theme right away. Yeah, you're doing great because you're here before your first day of college, getting some advising. So you don't have to choose an emphasis until your second year, third year even, although it'd probably be a good idea to get your emphasis declared by the end of your second year. That way your Titan degree audit, which is what's going to show when you go into your portal and you try to check, what have I done? What do I still need to do? You're going to look at your Titan degree audit for that. And when you declare your emphasis, those classes will show up on your Titan degree audit. Right now, if you go to your Titan degree audit, it will show you the liberal studies core courses, but it won't show you the elementary education plan or the interdisciplinary thematic emphasis. So that won't show up for you until you declare the emphasis. You will, however, be able to use these advising sheets now. So as you can see, they're all, again, 300 and 400 level classes. But if you want to take a look at them and kind of see what's down the road, you can certainly do that. You can also find some samples. If you're looking around and you're wondering what kinds of themes have people pursued, here was a theme on personal development and motivation in the workplace, counseling troubled youth, pre-law, right? Communication and globalization. So there are a lot of different themes that people have chosen that are specialized themes. Environmental studies, for example, science and documentary film, religion and child development. They just go on and on and on. There are pretty much endless possibilities there. So I encourage you to explore those possibilities. You'll also see that our department offers some minors. So we have a minor in food studies for students who are interested in that. We have a minor in science, culture, and society, which takes interdisciplinary courses, right, from our major and then a little bit of outside of the major to put together a minor that explores science, culture, and society. That's mostly a minor that's been developed for people majoring in the sciences who want to kind of branch out, right? But there's a brief video about the program here. You can also see there's a scholarship. There are a couple of scholarships that we offer, including the $2,000 Jane Hippolito Memorial Scholarship. Again, you'll have to pursue those when you're a little bit further into your career, but do look for scholarships. Very few people apply for scholarships. So the college offers a page on scholarships, which I could show you, which is really handy to have. So you'll see here study abroad, departments and degrees, all kinds of support from the college that you can look at. So let me go back to liberal studies for a minute. And I'm going to stop the screen. Oh, hang on. Stop the screen share and come back so that you can see me for a minute here. I'll pin myself so you can see me. So at any rate, if you have any more questions, again, I encourage you to look at the website. I encourage you to find, I'm going to put the college resources that I had shown you for first-time students. I'm going to put this into the chat, the link, so that you can see that. If you need it, if you need to make an appointment with them, let me do this to everyone. Hang on, everyone. So there is that link for first-time students. So you can go there if you want to book one of those one-on-one advising sessions, or if you have questions about general education or whatever else. And I see one of you has already emailed me about the waiver. So yeah, I'd be happy to send those out. You can also check with the Center for Careers and Teaching and find out more about the waiver from them. Let me also put that link into the chat for you so that you can find them more easily, because that is something that you can do early on right away to help prepare you for careers in teaching, just like it says. So do you guys have other questions? I know it's so much to absorb. Know that you have time. Know that you can join the Liberal Studies Student Association and get some advice from your fellow students who are further along in the program. One of the things that, let's see, classes do fill up. I would register as soon as you can. Certainly if you start with just lower division GE classes, unless you're planning to follow the waiver, you can pick any class from all those categories. When you go on your Titan degree audit, you'll see each GE category, it'll list all the potential courses for it. And I believe if you go into Titan Scheduler, that can help you, which is in your student center, that can help you figure out a schedule. If you type in the classes you want to take, it will then show you what all the possibilities are. And then once you lock in one of those classes, it'll schedule the other ones around them for you. Classes do fill up. We really try hard to, at least in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we try really hard to plan enough seats in, for example, 100 level courses in the college to accommodate the incoming first year student class. But again, it's a big university with a lot of students. And so it may be that you have to be a little bit flexible this first year about precisely which courses to take. Let me see, I see another question here. You can pick classes with that advisor at that one-on-one meeting. And they'll show you how to do things like use Titan Scheduler, which is an amazing resource. So they'll show you and they'll support you with all of that. They'll also help you with things like if you need to upload vaccination records, if you need to be hooked up with disability support services on campus, they can help you with all of that kind of thing. Right. So if you need DSS accommodations, you have to get those formally through the Department of Disability Support Services. And so they can help you with all of that in those one-on-one advising sessions. If you're curious about study abroad or about the DC semester, they can help you with that as well. All right, let's see. I would think that you might get an email, or you might find that it's been scheduled for you in your Outlook calendar. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing that. And in this particular session, I don't have a student orientation leader here with me to support me with those kinds of questions. But you can certainly, if you think that you've made an appointment and you're not sure, you could certainly go to that first year website that I gave you the link to, and you could get in touch with the Student Success Center and confirm that you have an appointment. Let's see, what else do we have? What time would you need to register for classes? Okay, for the waiver, yes, the abullock@fullerton.edu email is the place to go if you want to get a copy of that waiver pathway today, and I can send it to you. Someone says they did send an email to make an appointment. Let me see. They sent an email to make an appointment. Where can you go to rewatch this after it ends? It may take them until tomorrow to actually get it up, but it should be on that same first year Student Success Center portal that I sent you earlier. So in the chat, the link that says, let me see where it is here. This link that says hssfullerton.edu/new students/first time, that should be where you can find this recording of this meeting later on.